Hi. So in the previous slide I showed you an example of field names, field labels and field definitions together with the field values that now we're going to use to create our questionnaire. So if we open Epidata, and this is our front page, if we go to define data, press there, we open like a new case file, and here's what we get. So now we're going to start typing our questionnaire, okay, which is going to be called my first questionnaire, okay. And it's good practice to start every part of the questionnaire indicating what part of the questionnaire it is. So in this particular case, this is going to be our demographics. I'm going to call it demographics, okay. So we enter that, and now what we're going to do is start entering our variables with their field name. In this particular case, it's going to be ID, and the field label for this is going to be unique identification code. And now we need to give a field definition. There's several ways in which we can do that. We can do it manually, we can use the field pick list, or we can use the code writer, okay. So first of all, we're going to use the field pick list. So we can either click here or press Ctrl Q, and then it will ask you what field type you're looking for. In this particular case, it's going to be a number. And we know that this digit number is going to have a maximum of 3 digits. Okay, so let's click there 3, and now insert. Here we are. So doing it this way and entering 3 hash by clicking on the hash key 3 times would have been exactly the same. Epidata will recognize that as a numeric field type of length 3. Okay, so we're going to close this and continue. And then our next one is going to be name, which is the person's name. Okay, this is going to be a character value. Okay, and we can do this in 2 ways. Okay, we can either do it manually, okay, by entering underscore, let's say like 20 times. So we click 20 times on it, and that'll be a text type of length 20. We can press Ctrl Q and get the field pick list again, and go to text, and we'll leave it as it is, text, and we put here, let's say 20. Sorry, click on the arrow, 0, insert 20. Okay, and we continue. We can continue. Actually, the window with the field pick list will remain there. Okay, so the next field name is DOB, which is date of birth, and this is going to be a date field type. So we click on date field type here, and we go several. You go automatic dates if that's what you want. It's tricky. I mean, obviously you wouldn't work for the date of birth, but if you want to know exactly on what day each particular questionnaire was entered in Epidata, then one of your fields, it could be that, and it will be populated automatically. In this particular case, we're going to leave this, which is the European type, and we click insert. Okay, and as I say, if we type that ourselves, it would have been Epidata would have recognized it as a date of a European style. So let's close it and continue. Okay, now we're going to put age. Okay, and this is going to be the person's age, and we're going to do this in years. Okay, and we're going to explain this why. So you go to the field pick list again, so Ctrl Q, we go to numeric, and we know that this is going to be likely to have some decimal numbers here, so we're going to put decimals there, and we're going to insert. Okay, as I say, we could have done this manually, and if you're familiar, once you're familiar with these things, it can be done manually. However, another way of doing it, let me delete that, will be to activate this key here. This key is a code writer. The code writer, when it's activated, it recognizes certain combinations of characters, and then it will populate automatically depending on what combinations we added. So if we want to know the person's age in years, okay, we know it's a numeric value. We know we got the code writer activated. So if we press the hash key, we'll get a window asking us, okay, what's going to be the field length, okay. So as we said before, we want a digit, okay, but it may have 3 numbers before the decimals, okay, and 2 after. So we enter 3.2 here and we press enter. It'll be the same thing. Okay. This will only happen if the code writer key is activated. Okay. One other thing we're going to put in is that we forgot here is in the date of birth. Okay. In the date of birth, we're going to put a little note here because we want to know the date of birth of this person. Okay, on the day of exposure. Okay, let's say we know the date of exposure was, I don't know, the 1st 2013. Okay, we're going to put that date because one of the things we want to do is automate this process as much as possible, so we reduce the chances of human mistakes. So the age, okay, we're going to calculate the age by knowing this and knowing that number, okay, and we'll do that later, but just we'll leave it there so we remember. And then in demographics we still got another one, which is person's sex, and this is one of the ones, as I said before, that we're going to code, okay. When we do data collection, it is important to code variables as much as we can, as it will make the analysis easier. Okay, so we're going to code sex as a numeric, so we're going to enter hash key because we got the code writer activated. It's going to ask us what is the length of this field, and it's going to be 1. But every time we code variables, we need to be careful and we need to make sure that we write somewhere, okay, what those codes mean. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to put the codes here, which are going to be 0. Here's going to, and 0 is going to equal female, okay, and 1 is going to equal male, and we're going to close it, okay. So this is our demographic section. So we're going to go to another section. So we're going to separate it a little bit. We're going to call this section, we're going to call it, let's say, illness, okay. And our first variable is going to be ill, and this refers to person, whether the person is a case or not, okay. And we're going to code this as well. As a code writer is activated, it's going to be hash, we enter 1, that's it. And we put a field value here, which is 0 equals not a case, and 1 equals a case, okay. Our next field name is going to be onset, okay. We're going to deactivate this now, okay, and onset is going to be the date of onset, okay. So we're going to enter this manually, and the way they enter this manually will be like minor d. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. That's the fill pick. I wanted to have the code writer actually activated. So we press minor then and d. There we are. It will populate it automatically. So basically, if you know these combinations, character combinations, it'll make the creation of the file a little bit faster. Okay. So there's those 3 ways in which you can do it. You can either enter manually, you can use the fill pick list, okay, or if you know the combination, the character combinations, then activate the code writer and then just enter it, and it will ask you as you go along. In the onset, let's say we have a case definition, okay, and our case definition says that only people that develop symptoms within a number of particular days are going to be considered cases, okay. So we're going to put that information here. So let's say that onset of symptoms between the 1st of the 1st 2013 to, let's say, the 4th. Okay, we're going to leave that there. Okay, these are just labels that will help us, okay, in the things that we're going to be doing later on. such as creating a data file and mainly the checks. Okay, so another part of our questionnaire is going to be what we're going to call the symptoms. Okay, and this is going to be like, let's say, vomiting, and we're going to code this one as well. So we press hash, code writer is there, press OK, and this is going to be 0 equals no. Oh, and 1 equals yes. Okay. And then our next one is going to be, let's say, nausea. This deactivated here now, and then we're going to be entering this manually, so we put that, and then it's going to be the same field label, so we might as well just copy and paste here. There we are. And then we got let's say our final part, which is going to be food history. Okay, and then we're going to put chicken, for example, that's 0, same code. Let's say we're going to put I don't know, milk, hash, numeric. Okay, so this is our questionnaire. Okay, we're going to leave it there. I think this will be sufficient. And if you want to see how this will look like when you're entering data, all you need to do is to press the preview button here. Okay, this is how it's looking like. So it's looking okay, but still sort of a little bit slightly untidy. Okay, so let's close the preview. Close that form. Go back here. So if let's press the, we're going to we're going to put the cursor there. Okay, after ID, and what we're going to do is go to edit file, edit tab here, go all the way down to align fields, click on it. Okay, and this is what we're going to get. So we're going to preview this, and I'm sure this is still not going to be what we want. Okay, a little bit better, but still we can do a little bit of work there. So let's close it again, and let's place the cursor somewhere else and do the same thing. So let's just align here, see what happened. Still not perfect. It's just align there. Okay, let's just go back again to the unique. Okay, this may have done it. Okay, let's just preview this again. Perfect. Okay, so this looks a little bit easier. Okay, for the eye. So when you're entering data, this is a little bit easier for data for the eye. So you got your field name here. Okay, these are your field labels, so they explain your field name. This is the field definition, so your field type and length, and this is your field values. Okay, sometimes they will refer to the coding, but other times it may give you some information that may be relevant. Okay, so let's just close this. Another thing that you can do, and is to make it as similar as possible to your questionnaire. So when you're going back and forth from, your paper copies to Epidata, you may be able to you make things a little bit quicker. So let's say that your paper, second page of your questionnaire sort of starts here. Let's just do 2 spaces there, and then if we let's just do this, for example. Okay, right until that end there, and if you go below, let's say you go, oops, I want to do that. So let's say you can put here, for example, like page 2. Okay, you may want to go to, let's say, file options. Okay, create data file. Where was it? Show data form. Maybe we want to leave 2 spaces. Okay, let's see how it looks like. Let's do 2 spaces. And now we're going to go and preview. Okay, this is a lot. Okay, you may need to sort of scroll down here. So on the way down, but this is makes it maybe too much. Separate it so we can close it, and maybe go back. Your options, and maybe just put this back to 1. Okay, and press OK there, and preview. Okay, and this is how it looks out. I think it looks quite okay there. Okay, so we're going to leave it here, and this is how you enter your questionnaire file.